Welcome back from the long break. You're still watching ABC Midday News live on ABC News Ghana Television or streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH_. Now, in the world of business, Atlantic Lithium Limited, the Africa-focused lithium exploration and development company, has submitted a revised mining lease for its flagship Ewoya lithium project to Parliament. The lease has now been referred to the Parliamentary Select Committee for review, marking a key milestone in the project's journey toward ratification. Lithium, a critical mineral used in electric vehicle batteries and renewable energy storage, is increasingly seen as a strategic resource for Ghana's industrialization ambitions. The Ewoya project, located in the western region, has been closely watched by investors and policymakers alike as the country seeks to diversify its mining sector beyond gold. The revised mining lease incorporates fiscal terms following consultations led by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources with relevant stakeholders, aligning the project royalty rate and growth and sustainability levy with current legislated rates in Ghana. These adjustments reflect Ghana's mining code and are intended to ensure both investor confidence and equitable returns for the state. The minister has also submitted a new legislative instrument, the Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulations 2025, to Parliament, outlining a sliding scale of royalty rates for lithium projects depending on spodumene prices. That's all for business news. Up next is sports with James Ohenbamakion.
Hello, it's time for sports on the Midday News with me, James Ohenbamakion. Let's start from the Black Stars. And the Minister of Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, has dismissed claims that Ghana Black Stars head coach Otuado has gone unpaid for 9 months, clarifying that the government owes him only half of his salary. Reports recently suggested that the 50-year-old coach had not received his full remuneration for several months. However, speaking to City Sports, Adams acknowledged that while there are outstanding payments to some national team coaches, Ado's contract stipulates 50% of his annual salary is paid upfront.
We owed a number of the coaches, and we are looking for a structured system for payment of the coaches. In the past, before I became minister, some of these coaches, especially the expatriate coaches of the women's national team, was paid from the sponsorship fund that goes to the FA. That has since changed now. All that have been offloaded onto government, and so we have submitted the details. The finance minister has since approved for the payments, and the payments even per the contract is supposed to be in arrears. For the head coach, we pay him 50% ahead of time. So at the beginning of the year, 50% of his salary was paid ahead. Oh, okay. So what he is owed is actually 50%.
Now from the Black Stars, let's head to the AFCON, and head coach for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Eric Shell, is backing his players to excel despite missing key performance for the 2025 AFCON. The Super Eagles commenced their 2025 AFCON journey today with a game against Tanzania. The West African nation finished second place at the last AFCON, but head into this year's tournament without experienced centre-back William Trustekon, who retired from the national team earlier this month.
Oh no, I'm not worried. I'm trusting my guy. So, of course, I prefer that all of these guys are here, but now I'm with my guy. I'm trust in them so much. We have a big defense. We work a lot about that. So now we are focused about, like I said, our grand project. And when you want to defend, this is not only a question about only the defender, but a question about all the players on the
Now, still on the AFCON, currently DR Congo are playing against Benin and they are up by a goal to nil. We'll bring you more updates in our subsequent bulletin. But let's move on to the EFL Cup. And Mikel Arteta has played down concerns over Arsenal's demanding schedule, insisting his side are well prepared to handle the quick turnaround as attention shifts firmly to the Carabao Cup today against Crystal Palace. With fixture coming thick and fast, the Arsenal boss acknowledged that the extended preparation time has not been enough, but stressed that his players have adapted to the rhythm of a congested calendar. He also gave an update on Gabriel Jesus.
We are used to it. I think it's the only week that we had a week to prepare. It was this week. The rest, I think, till February at least is going to be like this. So we are used to it. Face it. We have a beautiful opportunity to go into the semi-final of a competition. So we'll be ready. Well, it's been a really intense journey, I would say. I think when he joined us, I think he lifted the belief, the spirit and the energy of the club and the team. I think he gave something very different to what we already had, and it was really impressive. And then he had some very bad injuries that hasn't allowed him to have the consistency that we need from a very important player. We are used to it.
And that's our wrap up sports on the Midday News with me, James Ohinbamakion. Up next is international news.
On the international front, armed men have kidnapped 28 people traveling to an annual Islamic event in Nigeria's Central Plateau state, local sources have stated. The victims, including women and children, were ambushed in their bars on Sunday night as it was driving between villages. News of the abductions came just a day after the Nigerian authorities announced the release of the remaining 130 school children and teachers from a separate mass kidnapping at a Catholic boarding school in Niger State last month. A journalist based in Plateau State said the families of the latest victims had begun receiving ransom demands. The perpetrators are not known and the authorities have yet to comment. Kidnapping for ransom by criminal gangs known locally as bandits has become common across parts of northern and central Nigeria. Although the handling over of the cash in order to release those being held is illegal, it is thought that this is how many cases are resolved and seen as a way for these gangs to raise money. The incident in Plateau State is unrelated to the long-running Islamic insurgency in the country's northeast, where jihadist groups have been battling the state for more than a decade. That's all for international news. Up next is entertainment news. Entertainment, award-winning Ghanaian rapper Sarkodie has recounted how unknowingly consuming a wheat biscuit led to what he describes as the worst performance of his career. Speaking in an interview, the rapper said the incident happened early in his career when he was offered a biscuit without being told it contained cannabis. According to Sarkodie, the effect set in shortly before he went on stage, leaving him disoriented, unfocused, and unable to deliver his usual energetic performance. He admitted struggling to concentrate and connect with the audience, noting that both he and the crowd could tell something was wrong. Reflecting on the experience, Sarkodie said it taught him a lasting lesson about discipline and being careful with what he consumes. He advised young artists to avoid peer pressure and remain mindful of their environment, stressing that professionalism is key to long-term success in the music industry. That's all for entertainment news, and that's how we wrap up ABC Midday here on ABC News Ghana Television. For more news, log on to our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. We stream live on Facebook at ABC News GH _. I am Peggy Nyarkoawaa Bannoor. Enjoy the rest of your day.